chicks. They're all right with us. I mean, it's cool to be that way. Is God going to get us for being sodomites? Is God going to get us for turning our back on Israel? Is God going to get us for being murderers? Is God going to get us for throwing prayer and Bible reading out of school and taking the Ten Commandments down from our courtrooms? Is God going to get us for killing all of these innocent babies? You have to ask yourself the question, what's God going to get us for first? What is it that's really going to trip God's trigger? 40 years of government-sanctioned and, in many cases, government-paid-for murders of innocent babies at the altar of Molech. And how much longer is God going to hold out? How much longer is it going to take? And I can tell you that every election we've had, since 1973, we've tried to vote in men or women who said, I am anti-abortion. I am against abortion. And nothing has been done. Nothing has changed. In 40 years, the electoral process and the American electorate has failed to put judges in the Supreme Court that would overrule Roe versus Wade, or have a constitutional amendment that says abortion is murder and no more in the United States of America. In 40 years, we have failed to do that as a nation. And that you can blame the weak Christians who voted for their pocketbook. You can blame this or that and the other, but the bottom line is America is a murderous nation for having killed all of these babies. I know people that have had an abortion. We have the testimony. We are going to, we're kind of held up right now on all this tax letters we're having to send out, but we actually have the testimony of a lady who has given us permission to print and publish her testimony of aborting her child. And we're going to print and publish that and make that available as part of our ministry, and we appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know where the problem lies, but it is an absolute disgrace to our nation to have this much blood on our hands. Let's see here. What am I going to deal with here? I've got some emails. I've got some things to share with you today. Here's an article that was sent to me from Laura. Laura, I appreciate that. Quadruple helix DNA seen in human cells. A representation of four-stranded structured DNA with fluorescent markers. Cambridge University scientists say they have seen four-stranded DNA at work in human cells for the first time. The famous molecule of life, which carries our genetic code, is more familiar to us as a double helix. But researchers tell the journal Nature Chemistry that the, quote, quadruple helix is also present in our cells and in ways that might possibly relate to cancer. They suggest that control of the structures could provide novel ways to fight disease. The existence of these structures may be loaded when the cell has a certain genotype or a certain dysfunctional state, said Professor Shankar Balasubramanian. Shankar Balasubramanian. I think I got it now. From Cambridge's Department of Chemistry. We need to prove that, but if that is the case, targeting them with synthetic molecules could be the interesting way of selectively targeting those cells that have this dysfunction. See, right there, they're telling you that a strand of DNA that's more than double-stranded it's bad. It's not good. It's something that needs to be wiped out and fixed. Monica sent me a picture of a building. Hi, Pastor Mike. Thought you'd like this. My ex-boss, who is a friend on Facebook, posted this picture. He took it while visiting his lawyer in Panama. Let me show you the picture of a building in Panama. Talk about 4 stranded. Let's see, how many would that have on there? Was that, I don't know, 4, 3, something like that. And if you know the nature of symbolism, this is what we're dealing with right here. It's sort of a rebuilt, let me do this. I'll show you this, and then I'll show you this, and then I'll show you that again, and I'll show you that again, and then I'll show you this guy again. Apparently this is in Panama. And I didn't know a building like that existed. Thank you, Monica, for sending that to me. Also, today, we are dealing with, I have a very lengthy email. It's a list of, somebody sent this to me. I think Ariel sent this to me. Sheriffs have risen up all over our great nation to stand up against the unconstitutional gun control measures being taken. The following is a list of sheriffs and state sheriffs associations from who have vowed to uphold and defend the Constitution against Obama's unlawful gun control measures. I applaud these public servants for their courage. Let's see. We have numerous from Oregon. Oh, we found Missouri here. Brad A. DeLay, Lawrence County, Missouri. Sheriff Charles Heiss, Johnson County, Missouri. Sheriff Steve Cox, Livingston County, Missouri. California, Oregon, boy, a lot from Oregon. Kentucky, Idaho, Alabama, Colorado, South Carolina, more Alabama, Georgia, Minnesota, Florida, Nevada, bunch from California. I'll ease up on the California people. Maybe they're not all bad. Maybe there's some people out there with some brains. Texas, in fact, the whole state of Texas is going to turn against this thing. Here's some more in Arizona, Oregon, Ohio, Colorado. Another one, Johnson County, Missouri, Mesa County, Colorado, Spartanburg County, South Carolina, Schoharie County, New York, Otsego County, New York, Berkeley County, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Florida, all over the place. I appreciate you sending me that. That gives me a little bit of hope. And plus the fact that all these states are sitting right now in their legislature, and they're writing up bills and legislation that basically says, not going to happen in our state. You're not going to do that. And if you try to send one of your pesky little agents into our state and try to uphold one of these stupid laws that Barack Obama is going to pass, then we will arrest his sorry backside and throw him in prison is what we'll do. And now, I want to say this, too. We applaud stuff like that because that's what we should do. States, if you live outside of America, maybe you don't understand this. But the state of Missouri is not just a, how can I put this? I don't know. The state of Missouri, according to the Constitution, is a sovereign state. It is a little country inside of a big country. And according to the Constitution said, here's what the federal government can do. Here's the very limited things that the federal government can do. And they are in effect over the states. But anything that we have not now enumerated as powers belonging to the federal government, those powers are reserved to the states and to the people, respectively. And so the government says, we're going to have this big brother bill that says that you can't carry these guns and you can't have these clips. Did you hear what they did in New York? They were in such a stupid hurry to pass an anti-gun legislation in New York that they forgot the language in it that excluded police officers. They were in such a hurry to do this. But anyway, they said that that right belongs to the state, and if the state wants to say, excuse me, Mr. Obama, we're under the Constitution here in this state, and if you do this, we're going to consider it an unconstitutional act, and you will not be able to enforce it in our state. We're not going to let you get away with it. That is the right response. But I submit to you also that it still represents not a nation united. but a nation divided. I'm going to go ahead and announce this, and if you are interested in this, just send an email to pastormikeonline@gmail.com. They are looking for Harvard Medical School is looking for volunteers, and if you are interested in this project, please send us an email. We will forward the email along with your credentials to Harvard Medical School. Here is the classified ad. Wanted, an adventurous woman to give birth to Neanderthal man. Harvard professor seeks mother for cloned cave baby. They are usually thought of as a brutish or primitive species. Now, I want you to stop right here, and I want you to write down the word brute, B-R-U-T-E, or brutish. I want you to write that word down, and I want you to look it up in your King James Bible and find out what the word brutish means. I want you to do that. Here is, by the way, here is the real fake picture of Neanderthal man. And you know what? Here's my problem. I've seen people alive that look like that. I don't think they lived 14.5 million years ago. I've seen these people. Some of them behind pulpits. Anyway, so what woman would want to give birth to a Neanderthal baby? Yet this incredible scenario is the plan of one of the world's leading geneticists who is seeking a volunteer to help bring man's long-extinct close relative back to life. Professor George Church, that's a funny name, of Harvard Medical School, believes he can reconstruct Neanderthal DNA and resurrect, listen to this now, here we go, resurrect the species which became extinct. Are you ready for this? 33,000 years ago. Now, you know that number is made up because nobody was around with birth certificates, A, when Barack Obama was born, B, when the Neanderthals were born. No one was around. So they're just pulling a number out of thin air. But they just happen to say that the brute people were around 33,000 years ago. That, to me, just is interesting that the brutish people were around that long ago. His scheme is reminiscent of Jurassic Park, but while in the film dinosaurs were created in a laboratory, Professor Church's ambitious plan requires a human volunteer. If I were to read something out of the King James Bible, which I am prone to do, much to the chagrin of some people who don't like me anymore. If I were to read out of the King James Bible, let's see, Exodus 22. I know it's in here somewhere. This just kind of jumped at me here. But thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. I know that's in there. Thou shalt not lend thy money to be put out to usury. I know that's in there. Let's see here. Where is it? I knew